Welcome to the Waylon perspective. Please like and press that subscribe button. I appreciate it very much. This is my reaction to Alisa Supronova performing Little Bird, a Russian folk song. Let's commence.
У зеленому саду пташечка и пропела. Ей ты, пташки, есть гнездо, есть у ней и дети.
Ladies and gentlemen, the personality, the talent, the skill, the amazing awesomeness of Alisa Supronova coming through for us in this performance here already, ladies and gentlemen. No subtitles on this one. Little Bird, a Russian folk song that originated way back and, that various artists have done in various ways. And this is Alisa Supronova's version, ladies and gentlemen. Absolutely in front of the microphone. Alisa, so talented. And that is where she seems to be at home, ladies and gentlemen, with a microphone, giving us wonderful vocal performances. And already, I think it's like a guitar line doing its thing there in the instrumental, you know what I mean? And Alisa's voice absolutely coming through. Not going to be able to follow along with what she says here, but she is just utterly brilliant, ladies and gentlemen. You know this young lady, so talented, so skillful, and here she is again, showing us what she can do with this performance already, ladies and gentlemen. 30 seconds in, brilliance established. Let's keep rolling.
Есть гнездо, есть у ней и дети, а мне у сироты нет никого и на свете. А мне у сироты нет никого. Ночь качала, да я детей, день коров доила. Ночь качала, да я детей, день коров доила. Подаишь, да я коров в хоровод.
Ladies and gentlemen, that sounds utterly brilliant. The song just building momentum, the percussion, the layered voices, Alisa's backing vocals layered in as well. I'm not sure, but it sounds like an organ away in the background as well in terms of the instrumental along with the guitar. All of it just building up so awesomely, and Alisa's voice just creating that, expectation. And it's a quiet intensity and it's working brilliantly, ladies and gentlemen. Yes, I don't understand what she's saying, but I understand that she's a brilliantly phenomenal performer. That's all I need to understand, ladies and gentlemen. I've reacted to this lady so many times. She never disappoints. And this is just, ladies and gentlemen, musically, sonically, this just sounds freaking awesome. Alisa Supronova rules. You know the story. Ladies and gentlemen, Alisa Supronova's vibe. I gotta say, this is also, a lot of it is down to how she does a lot of these arrangements herself. We're gonna check if she did this arrangement on this one herself as well. She is so talented, ladies and gentlemen, when it comes to various aspects of music. But the vibe that she always, conjures in her music, it is just so excellently brilliant every single time. This vibe here, ladies and gentlemen, there's an intensity there that is just absolutely working so wonderfully. She's just carrying it through with that wonderful voice of hers so memorably, ladies and gentlemen. All you can do is sit here and just be wonderfully appreciative of how brilliant this young lady is, ladies and gentlemen. She is absolutely stunning. I am absolutely enjoying this performance, 155.5%. I mean, round that one up to 200%. This is brilliant stuff, ladies and gentlemen. And it's all down to this young singer. It's all down to this young performer. She is what it is all about in terms of captivating our senses, in terms of making us appreciate this wonderful music. Little bird vibes here. No lyrics for me to hear exactly what she's saying, but this music, this vocal performance, it is out of this world, ladies and gentlemen. Brilliant, Alisa. Ladies and gentlemen, this is so utterly cinematic. This vibe it's something else. I don't know if you can see how much I'm enjoying this. It'll be short of jumping up here and, freaking starting to move along with this percussive sort of driving rhythm that takes us forward. You just have to take my word for it. And I'm really, really, really enjoying this. This is so my kind of vibe, ladies and gentlemen. This could be at home in any type of, film, TV series. It just sounds so wonderful. The arrangement, the instrumentation, whoever Alisa teamed up with to perform this, great job. Alisa's voice as always. Ladies and gentlemen, that is what it's all about. This young lady, her brilliance cannot ever be denied. You cannot deny it, ladies and gentlemen. It is clear for you to see and hear. Just appreciate it. That's all you gotta do. Appreciate it like I appreciate it. Brilliantly awesome, phenomenal stuff.
Пташечка и пропела, и ты, пташки, есть гнездо, есть у ней дети. Ой-ля-ля-ля-ля-ля-ля-ля-ля-ля-ля-ля-ля-ля-ля-ля-ля-ля-ля-ля-ля-ля-ля-ля-ля-ля-ля-ля-ля-ля-ля-ля-ля-ля-ля-ля-ля-ля-ля-ля-ля-ля-ля-ля-ля-ля-ля-ля-ля-ля-ля-ля-ля-ля-ля-ля-ля-ля-ля-ля-ля-ля-ля-ля-ля-ля-ля-ля-ля-ля-ля-ля-ля-ля-ля-ля-ля-ля-ля-ля-ля-ля-ля-ля-ля-ля-ля-ля-ля-ля-ля-ля-ля-ля-ля-ля-ля-ля-ля-ля-ля-ля-ля-ля-ля-ля-ля-ля-ля-ля-ля-ля-ля-ля-ля-ля-ля-ля-ля-ля-ля-ля-ля-ля-ля-ля-ля-ля
Little Bird is an old lyrical Russian folk song. It was performed for a wider audience as far back as 1943. That was absolutely scintillating stuff there by the one and only Alisa Supronova. Ladies and gentlemen, this lady, her singing ability, second to none. She absolutely can hold her own with some of the best singers in the world, in my humble opinion. She is so utterly brilliant. She is so utterly consistently amazing. And that was another just utterly impressive performance here by this young singer. Ladies and gentlemen, Alisa Supronova, she makes it work when she grabs that microphone and she starts to sing. And that one worked wonderfully. Just, there was this vibe to it that just, ladies and gentlemen, so utterly memorable. That track rocked. Despite the fact that it calmly moved towards its destination, it just absolutely rocked. It was so atmospheric, ladies and gentlemen, the percussion being one of the main, sort of instrumental pieces of the track as well. But the bass line, that subtle guitar work as well, taking it forward. And then Alisa's vocals, so powerful, so wonderful, along with those backing vocals that she layered in as well, which I'm again assuming was Alisa herself, providing extra impetus in terms of backing vocals for Alisa's main vocal line, ladies and gentlemen. And that's what it was, forward momentum. This track just moving forward in such a wonderfully memorable way. It's wonderful music, ladies and gentlemen. You gotta sit there and appreciate it. Because it's just utter brilliance. And Alisa Supronova, she is responsible for that brilliance, ladies and gentlemen. Alisa doing the Pelageya version of the song here, ladies and gentlemen, and just it soared, ladies and gentlemen, for yours truly. Just what a jam that was. And Alisa's voice, the highlight. You know what I mean? If there was a highlight reel, that's what it would all be about. It would be Alisa's voice just wonderfully giving us this song in such a memorable and stunning way. I enjoyed that. I enjoyed it oh so very much. But to be fair, I always enjoy the wonderful performances of the stunning Alisa Supronova. And that one was just another one we can file away in the archive of brilliance when it comes to Alisa's vocal performances. Ladies and gentlemen, that was stunning music. That was simply phenomenal. Alisa Supronova's brilliant vocals took flight once again. That was unbelievable.